This season of So You Want to Run a Restaurant is brought to you by Localizer.
In today's market, the difference between a full house and an empty one is discoverability, and Localizer makes sure your restaurant actually gets found.
Yeah, by making it easy to manage all your online reviews, you'll boost your ranking on Google, Yelp, and even the top delivery apps. And more visibility means more customers walking through your door.
Turn your great reputation into real growth. And as an added bonus, listeners of this show get a 25% off discount on your first 3 months.
Learn how at localizer.com/podcast. That's LOCALYSER.com/podcast.
Hi, everyone. I'm Claudia Sarek.
And I'm Spencer Michael.
And this is So You Want to Run a Restaurant, created by the team at backofhouse.io, the most trusted resource for restaurant tech.
Welcome again, everyone. We are on location live here at the Gordon Food Service Show here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We've got Chris Andrus, and we're excited to talk to him today.
Yes. So Chris and his partner opened up Mitten Brewing in 2012 in a converted Firehouse, engine house number 9, with a fun baseball-themed approach. So over time, Mitten has expanded into multiple tap rooms, has grown its brewing capacity, and built a stronger brand around eat pizza, drink beer, and do good.
Chris is also deeply involved in the community and intersection of entrepreneurship and philanthropy. So we're going to talk to Chris about how Mitten got started, what's now happening across branding and the future of the brewery, and maybe, calm down, even a ghost story today.
I am really looking forward to that last bit. Welcome.
Welcome, Chris. So glad you're here with us.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
So tell us about your background before Mitten. What were you doing professionally, and when did the idea of a brewery come to mind?
Sure. Well, I'm one of these late bloomer entrepreneurs. I never brewed a beer until I was 30 years old.
Okay.
But before that, I'm from the area. I went to college at Alma College in the center of the state. And after I graduated, I was a professional touring musician for 8 years.
Oh, that's cool.
So
What instrument?
I play guitar.
Oh, nice.
I'm mainly a songwriter, but I dabbled on a lot of instruments. But
Okay.
I was mainly poor and spent a lot of time in a van with a lot of guys. And so yeah, I did that until about 2010. And I remember I had this moment where our band did not make enough money at a gig to get a hotel. And a hotel was like a luxury for us. A lot of times we just slept in the van.
Yeah.
And the bar owner graciously, this was in Steubenville, Ohio, graciously let us stay in the bar overnight. And there were 3 couches, and I lost out on the rock, paper, scissors, so I slept on the pool table in the bar.
Wow.
And I was staring at the ceiling thinking, I think it's time I do something else.
There's got to be a better way. Yeah.
Yeah, so I came back from that tour, and my friend since kindergarten, Max, now my business partner, I called him up and said, let's do something together. Let's do something that's new and exciting. And we were both looking to make a change. He was looking to make a change in his professional life too. And on impulse, we went out and bought a homebrew kit, and that was how the whole thing got started.
Wow.
So that was 2010. We were both 30 years old. So 2 years later, we opened the Mitten, and here I am.
Here you are today. So walk us through some of those early conversations. What was it like to turn a historic building? Because you picked a pretty historic building, so I want to hear about that as well. And then the process of turning that into a brewery.
Sure. Well, this is 2 years, when we started, it was about 1.5 years, 2 years after the Great Recession, the housing collapse. So we didn't know how to afford to do this thing that we were talking about doing. So we went to the bank and found out right away that they were not going to lend us any money.
Yeah.
Especially former musicians with,
Okay.
no pay stubs to show for 10 years.
Did you just wake up on a pool table today,
Yeah.
sir? I don't
Yeah.
think
What's
so.
your address? It's this
Yeah.
van's license plate.
Yeah, exactly. So, we didn't know where to start, but we were, I have a high risk tolerance. Nothing, scares me, because I wasn't coming from like a corporate successful career. I was, like I said, sleeping in a van, so anything was good for me. He was leaving a marketing job, so it was a little bit more of a risk for him, but we just dove all in and started making beer. We started winning some medals and homebrew competitions, and we said, hey, let's go for it. We're not getting any younger.
Yeah.
And we started sending out invitations to friends and family, anybody we knew that had a few dollars to rub together, and started fundraising a little bit here and there. And we'd raise some money, spend it. We got the engine house in February of the year we opened in October. So we worked in that building 16 hours a day, without a paycheck, the long, long, dirty days, and fundraising the whole time. Like, we'd be down there sledgehammering and giving an investor presentation, covered in soot and dirt. But it was, I don't know, it was really formative time for us. It really connected us to the project.
Yeah.
It wasn't, we were paying some architect and a crew to come do it. We were physically building everything by hand. We were on YouTube learning how to use tools. We never did that before,
Oh, wow.
Max got hit in the face with this impact drill. He still got a scar on his face from that
Wow.
build out period. Yeah. I mean, it was tough, but it's really rewarding. It really connected us to the work we were doing.
I was gonna say, when you're doing all of that together as as partners, I would imagine that your relationship grows even stronger with that.
Trauma bonds.
Yeah,
And
trauma bonding.
Yeah, there was a lot
A
of
little bit of that.
good, bad, and the ugly. And also we got to meet all the neighbors. We were there for every day for 8 months. So we got to meet all the stakeholders in the block, and we got to see what the neighborhood was like. And I don't know, I wouldn't trade that experience for anything in the world.
And this was an up-and-coming neighborhood at the time, and now it's an amazing spot with obviously Long Road Distillers next to you. You got a barbecue joint across the street, but that wasn't totally there when you guys took it over. No.
And to be frank, when we announced our location to our investors, we heard a lot of pushback because a lot of people thought, now wait a minute, is this the sort of place you want to build a high-end brewery? This kind of place where you want to charge $5, $6, $7 a pint for beer?
Yeah.
Because the West Side is its own little unique borough. It's very blue collar. It was long inhabited by all the immigrant families who came to work in the furniture factories of Grand Rapids. It's a great place to be, but it never had a brewery since Prohibition days. So it was not a tested, known concept. But I had traveled around the country with Max. We'd gone to breweries and other towns. We'd seen how they had reclaimed forgotten areas and built up old industrial parks. So we knew that it could be done. We were pretty confident.
And
It
then you're so
worked.
connected.
It was in,
It
it
worked. It
worked,
worked.
yeah.
But there were moments when I was like, am I doing the right thing here?
Yeah. Well,
But-
what were some of those moments when you looked at it and you said, "Oh my gosh, this is a really steep mountain for us to climb"?
Just having to go back and raise more money. We
Yeah,
ended up
that's
having
exhausting.
to raise way more than we thought and give up more of the ownership. At the time, that was something I didn't count on. We were hoping to just get loaned a bunch of money and pay it back. But the good news is that people were excited about what we were doing and they wanted equity in it.
Right.
The bad news is you have to give up some of your own equity. I'm pleased to say that all that equity has been purchased back now. So we got everything back. But yeah, and it's discouraging to work on something that long, encounter governmental delays. We were hoping to open for the World Series. I'm sorry, for opening day in April of that year. We ended up opening for the World Series. So it's completely the end of the season.
162 games later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the worst part is everyone's like, hey, when are you opening? Do you guys have an opening day yet? No, I don't. And don't you think I'd tell you if
Yeah.
I did? Don't you think I'd be shouting it from the
Exactly.
rooftops? But everyone was excited. It was just, it was heartbreaking to have to keep pushing it back. And,
Yeah. That's not like today where there's all these YouTube videos, the BTS videos, the behind the scenes where, they can see all the work that's going into building these places.
for
So,
sure. And it was, it's hard to distill what we did.
Yeah.
But it was, I know, but then the opening night, we had 100 people lined up
Good.
on the
Okay.
sidewalk.
Good for you. Awesome.
And we thought immediately,
Yeah.
I think we did the right thing.
And now you're thinking, oh my God, I hope we don't run out of food.
Yeah. Oh, and then we did. Yeah.
And then you ran out of food.
Yeah, ran out of everything.
Well, now we got a whole new set of problems. Yeah.
Well, and people would always say, hey, those are good problems.
Yeah.
And
It's
you
a
say,
good
yeah,
problem
they
to
are,
have.
but they're still problems.
It's still,
Yeah.
But no, it was, that was a relief.
I'm sure.
8 straight months of money only going out. And we finally rang in that first drawer that first night, went to the bank with a fistful of cash, and that felt good.
Catering orders can get messy, forms, phone calls, and way too many mistakes. But Rally Catering by App 8 makes it easy. Guests order online with 0 errors, saving your team time and allowing you to capture more business with higher margins. Less stress, fewer mistakes, and more revenue means catering finally works the way it should. And right now, listeners of this show get 30% off their monthly subscription for the first year. Head to app8solutions.com to learn more.
So now, talking about the food, Mitten is more than just beer. You've paired it with pizza. So eat pizza, drink beer, do good. Was that the tagline right away that you chose, or did that come
That sort of
about?
evolved over time.
Okay.
As our philanthropic efforts evolved over time, it just became more and more central to the mission. And we started circling around that branding, probably 5 or 6 years ago, realizing that it was just as much of a tent pole of what we do as the food and the beer.
Yeah.
Our giving mission was probably the main thing that allowed us to thrive through the pandemic. So I surveyed our guests during the second shutdown, and because we were still reporting our really high pizza sales. We actually sold as much pizza in 2020 as we did in 2019.
I believe that. Yeah.
And it was crazy. And we were so grateful, and I wanted to figure out why. And 62% of the guests that I surveyed said that the reason they went out of their way to give us their support during this time was because of everything we had done in the community.
Oh, wow.
And I had never really been able to figure out how much that made a difference in our day-to-day operations. It's not why we did it. It's just a pleasant byproduct. But to finally figure out, wow, this is where the rubber meets the road. When we found ourselves the ones in need, the community paid it back, and they continued to. And
Well, talk to us a little bit more about that, because I feel like the philanthropic identity of is really, really strong, and obviously your community saw it as well. So what advice would you give, or talk about how that came about, and then what advice you'd give for other people that are maybe looking to do something similar with their restaurants?
so I had always worked in, when I was doing music, I was a student aide in a lot of disability classrooms in the public schools. My youngest brother's disabled, so it was always something that was important to me to serve in that way. And there weren't a lot of male aides in the public schools. A lot of women do it, and so I got paired with a child named Nate Hurwitz at Knapp Forest School because I was the only male aide, and he really wanted to have a guy that he could go around with all day and
Yeah.
help in the bathroom, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to have some sort of service aspect to the business, and just the developmental disability charities have always been important to me. So that was how the idea started. And actually, Nate Hurwitz Field at the there's a Miracle League field for children with disabilities. That actually was our first philanthropic gift back in 2012. But that's how it started. And over time, it evolved in different ways. We offered early investors a chance to pick our nonprofit partners.
Oh, that's
And that
cool.
became really a great strategy for us to continue to connect with more investors, because they
Yeah.
saw it's a really cool idea. And I learned that an interesting way to make money is to give it away. And it kind of unlocked all this reciprocal
Yeah.
understanding of, what philanthropy connects you to fundraising wise. And I try to talk about that a lot, because that was an unexpected
Yeah.
boom.
Isn't that like a law of karma? What goes out there 3 times comes back 3
Yeah.
times.
I
or
love the
something?
fact that it came
Yeah.
back to
I'm
you.
here to tell you
Yeah.
that it's true, and it's
That's-
been
Yeah.
consequential for us. So yeah, we partnered with different nonprofits when we opened up, even though we didn't have any money to give away. We were still very much in the red, but it helped us get in front of new audiences every month and meet a lot of new people. And we didn't have as much money as any other brewery. We were the small kids on the block. We didn't have a lot of investment. We had to stand out in some way. So besides our geographic location, we were the only ones on the west side. We wanted this giving mission to help us stand out in the eyes of our customers. And so we really dove into it, even though it did not make a lot of financial sense for a long time. Definitely every time we'd write a check to a nonprofit, we'd think, oh boy, all the bills that could pay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Right.
But that's what, really truly believing in something requires you to do. You have to take that leap.
Well, it sounds like it was kind of the heart and soul of your restaurant and
It
your
is.
ethos, and you combined all of it.
Yep. And I'm, I love craft beer. That's what drew me to it. 13 years in, I'm not sure I could get up every day and feel super passionate about
Yeah,
craft
of
beer the way that I did.
course.
But I can feel that way about improving lives of people in our neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
the stakeholders, and all the people for whom we rub shoulders with every day. So that has kept me engaged in the business. It kept my mind constantly thinking about how to improve it, how to make lives better for people in the neighborhood, our staff. I don't know. Without that, I don't know what my connection to the business would be. I don't think it would be as deep right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
I mean, it's incredible that you're able to, I talk about when you're in the restaurant business, you look your customers in the eye every day, and you provide them a service, but you're also looking your customers in the eyes saying, here's the service, here's a beer, here's a slice of pizza, and some of this is going to do some good in the community. And I think that's such an incredible story. And then you've expanded to multiple locations too. You're in Northport, Saugatuck. I'm saying that right? I hope so.
Saugatuck.
Okay, Saugatuck. And then you do takeout in Rockford. So obviously managing consistency across all of that. And then are you as heavily involved in all those communities as well?
yeah, I mean, those the 2 Lakeshore locations, Saugatuck and Northport, are very truncated to July and August. So they definitely require the most attention then. But yeah, our philanthropy spreads across all those locations, and different communities have different needs, but there's always food insecurity in every neighborhood. And so that's sort of the unifying cause that we find. School lunch debt, eliminating that was a big thing we did up in Northport at Sutton's Bay Schools. So I don't know, I think it's fascinating to find all the different ways that need touches different communities. And the ways that a lot of small businesses don't see themselves in philanthropy. It seems like something big corporations do. It's like a success tax, or it's like something you do around the holidays. And I believe strongly that this is something you can thread into every single action you take, because there's a million places to get a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
And a pint of beer. But I mean, wouldn't you rather go someplace where they know that they're a steward of your money, and you've got to be really picky about where you spend your money now. Everything costs more. There's myriad offerings, and I think it really matters in the final analysis what you do with that dollar. You're fortunate enough to get from a guest.
And operationally, so, we get a lot of restaurant operators listening to the podcast. That's what we try to anyways. And so when you expand from you're building this, or you're renovating this firehouse, you're swinging a sledgehammer, you're so connected to it. And now you're stretched a little thinner. Now you can't spend as much time because you're across multiple areas. So what kind of systems, or what's in place for you to maintain the consistency of what you're doing? Is it part of the culture? Or is it something that you have implemented as far as a system that you put in place, or how do you maintain consistency?
First, you drive yourself crazy and physically burn yourself out, so much so that you can hardly function.
Yeah.
Then you come to understand that you can't be everywhere.
Yeah, you got to let go of the reins.
And you have to some extent, understand that you may set the mission, but it's largely up to other people to fulfill it on a daily basis. And that's hard for a type A person who really cares about, consistency and stuff like that. I'm not knocking any of our staff members, but it was hard to rein in.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And, it was hard for me to watch, substandard product go out, but understand that it's part of the process. And
Right.
so you can't please everyone all the time. So really it comes down to getting the right people, putting the aces in their places, getting the right people in the management positions and allowing them to execute.
Yeah.
If I'm over their shoulder the whole time, second guessing and micromanaging, then they just never come into their own, and they never are able to do what they need to do. And ultimately it comes down to trust, and sometimes customers are wrong. And I think that's increasingly so.
No, never.
Yeah. And sometimes I've had to ask for grace many times from our customers. Hey, this was unexpectedly busy. Hey, we've got people out sick. We're doing our best.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that you were disappointed, but there are real people on the other end of this operation, and we'll do our best to make it up to you. And
Technology decisions can make or break a restaurant. That's why restaurants turn to Back of House, your guide to smarter tech strategy. From point-of-sale systems to online ordering, labor tools, and guest engagement platforms, Back of House helps you cut through the noise with expert insights, comparisons, and best practices. Don't just buy tech, build a strategy that grows your business. Visit backofhouse.io and get the clarity you need to choose the right tools for your restaurant.
Well, so talk to us about the product perspective. How do you decide what beers that you're going to make? How do you decide what goes on the shelves? What do you discontinue? Talk to us a little bit about that process.
I mean, I think on the food end, I'd say pretty much all the ideas are now just coming out of the kitchen. Max and I had our original 12 recipes, or pizza recipes that we started with, and some of them are still on the menu, but I'm not a trendy person. I don't know what's going on in the world of culinary innovation. So I don't know, I rely on them, and honestly, Gordon Food Service is always letting us know what's new, what products are happening. Hot chicken in Nashville, like all these trends are happening, and connecting us to those vendors and those products. I don't know, it's really keeps everything fresh for us, and that's been a huge value add. But beer wise, I'm a classic styles kind of guy. We got into it not because we wanted to make crazy double milkshake, key lime stouts. We wanted to make a great solid lager, something beer like your dad used to drink when you watched the game. And we've never really deviated too far from that. We've got some trendier styles, but they always harken back to a really balanced version of that. Because in the beer business, I want to sell you 2 or 3 of something. I don't want to sell you some palate bomb that you can only have one of, and doesn't pair well with pizza. So I've always been attracted to balance and classic styles in the beer end. And, you know, beer's been around for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's what they say about even like ice cream shops, right? You got to get like the vanilla bean or the vanilla right first before you keep going. And if you can get
Absolutely.
like the best vanilla and the best chocolate,
It's
you
the
can go
canary in the coal
anywhere.
mine, because
Yeah.
if an ice cream shop has really good vanilla, then you know everything else downstream, but that's probably good.
Exactly.
That's the same thing with Pilsner and cheese pizza.
Yeah.
Those are the that's everything reduced to its rudiments. If they can do that well, you can make a beer that has no crazy stuff to hide behind. It's clean. You can really see the process at the brewery. Oh man, they're clean. Everything is really dialed in and sanitary and everything. Because you can hide all sorts of flaws in a triple IPA with chunks of hops floating in it.
Right.
Not so on a yellow beer or
Right.
cheese pizza.
And don't mess with vanilla ice cream.
Don't
No,
mess with
Don't
vanilla.
mess with beer and pizza.
Absolutely.
Like, don't do it.
Yeah.
It's a simple thing.
My staff will tell you every day I make a cheese pizza.
I mean, and who doesn't love the most amazing cheese pizza you've
Yeah.
ever had?
I want to check on the dough. I want to try to get the perfect bake.
Yeah.
And so at my house, I have about like 12 pizza boxes in the refrigerator. My wife hates it. But I don't know. I just love making pizza.
No, I think it's great.
And I love to try to make the perfect cheese pizza. Every day I take a picture of it. I show it around to the guys in the brew house, and
Yeah.
they ooh and ah
Is
over
that
it.
like the mountain that you'll never get to the peak of it? You'll never.
I don't
I'm
think
gonna
I will.
spend my life
I don't think
trying
I
to
will.
make the perfect cheese pizza.
Because
And
now I'm trying to get it to fit in the box perfectly. I've gotten I think really dialed in on the bake and everything, but sometimes it's 12 1/4 inches and the box kind of squishes it. So now I'm seeking
Now,
the last frontier, which is
I
the
was
perfect
told when I
size.
made pizzas, and we were tossing them in the air, is they just get it within the round family. Just don't make a square pizza, just with it, but a little bit of here and there. So are you making it? Is it like, can I calibrate an instrument with the roundness of your pizza at this point? You've made it so often.
I use a compass and we have circles on the paddles because when pizza starts to come out looking like amoebas, then you got a problem. But I agree that you want to know that it's hand tossed. You want to see some,
Yeah.
you don't want to see it like pressed on a tortilla press, but
I've never hand tossed my own pizza crust, but I did last week flip my own egg
Oh,
in the pan.
This is progress.
This is progress,
We're
and
all
it didn't
so
fall
proud
on
of
the
you.
floor.
Yes,
Thank you.
it's great.
I was actually really proud of
Wow.
that. So
I don't know if I've
thank
ever
you.
done
Thanks,
that, so.
Spencer.
nice.
Yeah. Well, we'll get you on
Pizza
tossing a
crust
pizza.
is way more forgiving than an egg.
It
I'm
is-
sure.
You get one
Yeah.
shot at an egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, craft beer, when you're coming out of, the 2008 recession, and craft beer really kind of hit its stride at that moment, but then all of a sudden it became extremely competitive, and you had the concerns or the possibility of this becoming saturated within everybody else. So you go to a beer store, a liquor store, and you go in, you look at the craft beer wall, and it's just a rainbow of colored cans, and how do I possibly choose? So how do you stand out? Especially when, your marketing budget is not up, like, a craft beer gets bought up by Anheuser-Busch, all of a sudden now they're everywhere. You don't have that kind of budget. So how do you stand out?
For us, all of our, store sales, our package sales, it's all an outgrowth of how people feel about the brand. So I think there's nothing better you can do than just strengthen the brand. When people know, I always say, like Founders and Bells, to me, those are blind buys. If I see their tap handle at a restaurant, or I see their can in the store, I know it's good. I've never had it, but the brand is strong enough that I know that there's going to be something good in that can
Oh,
or in that
yeah.
pint glass. And that's what I think you have to strive for, because you're not going to, if the only thing you've got going for you is interesting art, yeah, that's a lark. Someone will say, oh, that's a cool can. But, you've got to buy it time and time again. You've got to earn shelf space, keep shelf space. You've got to earn customers, keep customers. And brand strength and consistency is the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
Because
Is
if you're chasing trends, then you're gonna get paced out of the
Now, is
market.
retail for someone who's wanting to get into craft beer, and trying to understand, okay, where's the most profit? Where am I going to make money? What's the easiest to do? Is it the retail side, or is it people coming into the brewery? Like, where?
It's always people coming in.
Always people coming in? Yeah.
Because I always say Founders spills more beer than we make. So we make beer 20 barrels at a time. We have a 3-barrel system as well. They're making hundreds and thousands of barrels at a time. So the economies of scale are something that we can never compete with. So it makes way more sense for us to sell it $6 in a pint glass, wash the glass, fill it again, versus selling it for 98 cents at a can, and then the retailer sells it for way more than we make on it. Just, the can costs us more than the beer, but it's something we like. We like to have our beer in the market, but that's never going to be a real money maker for us. It's the in-person, come down with your friends, have a pizza and 2 or 3 pints, and that's what we're built to do. That's what all of our campuses are built to serve, and yeah. So I would say, unless you're going to spend millions of dollars on a giant, crazy warehouse facility to sell, not even knowing if people are going to buy your product, in person is always going to be the way to go.
That's good advice, though, for anybody that's thinking
Yeah.
about getting into this industry and
During the shutdowns, people would come to me and they'd say, "Hey, I'm supporting you guys. I bought a 6-pack of your beer at the store." And I said, "That's great. Can you come down to the brewery and get it from us
Yeah.
directly?"
No
No
kidding.
offense
Buy
to them.
direct.
That was good for the store.
Yeah.
But I was surprised to learn how many people didn't, think about that or really understand the different economies involved there. And I would say, I just learned the value of asking for what you want. Tell people, actually, the better way to help us is this. I didn't know that. I will now do that.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to talk about the ghost stories.
All right, we're into the ghost stories
We're
now?
into the ghost
okay.
stories.
All right, okay.
Okay, so Mitten Brewing, you have a whole page dedicated to the ghost stories. You have to tell us more.
I'm quite enthusiastic about this part of the business, and I've always been fascinated by the supernatural and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't something that we were aware of in our building. So in the early days of working on the building, we were there till all hours of the night, and the power was shut off for a while because we were working on disconnect electrical stuff. So we had like these flashlights and everything. We would see things moving out of the corner of our eye, and I'd say to Max,
Ooh.
"Did you see that?"
Wow.
You'd hear
Oh, man.
footsteps, and that just started
Sorry, I
moving. It
love that
freaked me
something
out.
just happened.
Something
For
like
those things,
somebody
yeah,
behind
for
us
those who weren't
moved,
here,
yeah.
something just moved over here. So what
Yeah.
a perfect timing.
And I'm going to run.
Yeah.
I've seen enough.
So it was sort of like a And then it started happening more. Then we started to hear voices speaking. Then a few times we heard
Wow.
our names shouted, and we knew for a fact we were the only ones there. The building was locked,
Wow.
and there was a tenant upstairs right before we took over the building named Skip. And we saw him on the block one day, and we said, "Skip, all your years of living there, did you ever experience anything or see anything?"
yeah.
Weird? And he stops, and his face was drawn, and he said,
Was he like, you hear it too?
"Just know that it's nothing you need to worry about." And I'm like, "What does that mean? What are you saying?"
Now I'm worried.
Now
Yeah.
I'm so worried.
So he said, "There's a presence there. It's always been there." He said, "I've seen, figures before. It's
Oh
never
my
made
goodness.
me feel unsafe or anything, but it's there." And I'm like, "Oh, great."
Yeah. Don't worry, though.
So, during the whole build-out process, we're hearing all these things, and let me just say this: it really the phenomena seems to happen whenever anything is being changed in the building, whenever there's some sort of
You're
renovation or
disrupting
whatever.
them.
Yes, because it's been quiet for a long time.
Yeah.
But and we opened, and my business partner had planned his honeymoon months and months before. We were supposed to be open in April. We opened in October. He had to be gone for like a week during one of the first weeks of being open. So I was there by myself, and I mopped the lobby. And this is on our website. It was like 2 a.m. We closed up. I mopped the lobby, locked it up, came back in the next morning at 8 to open up. And I go up in the lobby, and I see all these footprints in the mop water, like these little white footprints. Someone had walked through it when it was wet. Now, I'm the only one with a key. And I look up close, and I see their little children's footprints.
Oh.
Barefoot footprints in all different directions in the middle of this room. No trail walking into the room or walking out of the room.
Oh, just in one spot.
So that photo's on our website.
Ooh.
So I took pictures of it on my old flip phone, must have been, because I look at the photo and it's not great now. But so that freaked us out. Years later, we're renovating the upstairs because we opened our upstairs taproom in 2014. It was storage till then. And we're knocking down a wall, and on one of the boards on the inside, there's a white footprint. This had not been exposed since 1891 when they built it, because it was on the inside of the wall. And I took out a ruler. I'm like, that is exactly the same size as the footprints 2 years ago in the lobby.
Wow.
So we took that board out, and we built, because we were building an upstairs bar, we did it all out of reclaimed wood
Yeah.
to put that board in the upstairs bar. So this day, it's in the middle of the upstairs bar. You can see that white footprint. And there's a little bit of a left footprint too, you can see. But yeah, so every time someone's into ghost stories, I bring them upstairs and say, "You got to see the footprint."
That is cool.
Wow.
And I like that you've really leaned into it and you've actually put it around your around the place. You've got the page on your website that has the photos. I think that's so cool. And have any of your customers experienced anything?
Yes. So a lot of our staff members too have heard, been there late at night and heard their things. Someone's had their name shouted into their ear, like right next to them. A lot of electrical interference, like you'll hear voices coming through the speakers. I don't know if it's easier to ride those kind of waves or whatever, but yeah, customers have reported things early on, not so much lately. But
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, no wonder ghost hunters wanted to come in and film.
So that's one of the most exciting / sad stories I have to tell.
Yeah.
Is that I was approached by ghost hunters about shooting a show at the Mitten overnight, and they were going to let Max and I be with them on the show, and they canceled it because of COVID. They shut down all production, and it never got started back up again.
Oh, we got to
So
get them
I
back
had
on.
signed the releases. I was all ready to go,
Oh, really?
and this would have been a peak moment for me.
Oh,
But
man.
maybe it'll happen again someday.
Yeah, it'll happen again. Maybe when we broadcast this, someone will see it. Yeah.
Yeah, the dozens of people will see this. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll wait by
Alright.
the phone.
Yeah, right? All right, should we do a super quick lightning round?
Let's do the lightning round. Yes. All right, we've got a lightning round. Okay. What is the one thing you notice right away, positive or negative, when you walk into another brewery or restaurant?
How's it smell?
The smell?
Does it smell good?
Okay.
Does it smell like
What should it smell like?
nothing?
Nothing. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know if a brewery
when you go
had
to
like
an old
a
beer,
smell.
an old like, bar that's got carpet, it sort of
Oh,
smells
yeah.
like old liquor and
Yeah.
vomit. That's my pet peeve.
Yeah.
Does it smell good?
The stale bar
Yes.
smell.
Yeah.
I can't get over
Would
it.
it be surprising? I'm one of those weird cats that loves stale bar smell. I don't know if I just grew up in it, growing up in the restaurant business.
I mean,
and
it does portend a fun dive bar to hang out
yeah,
at. but
it just reminds me of days gone by. But I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
because sometimes I'm
That's
like,
something
okay.
I notice all the time. I'm a huge bar rescue. I loved watching that show. So I feel like John Taffer in that regard. I come in and I'm like,
You can smell it. Yeah.
You know. All right, recommendation for other restaurateurs facing challenges with ghosts in their space.
lean into it.
Lean into it.
They were there before you.
That's great
That's good
advice. I
advice.
love that.
Good
Okay.
advice. All
All right.
right.
We'll end on that. I think that was good. Awesome. Yeah,
Thank you so
Chris,
much,
this is great.
Chris.
Thank
My
you so
pleasure.
much.
Thank you
Love
for having
hearing
me.
your story. And yeah, I'm not going to sleep tonight, so thank you so much.
Then I've done my job.
Amazing.
So You Want to Run a Restaurant is created by Back of House, produced and hosted by Claudia Sarek, with Nick Florick as executive producer. Marketing by Hillary Young and Ashley Dunn. Creative by Manisha Kishenchand. And live production by Sarah Heemstra. And of course me, your co-host, Spencer Michael. For more information, visit backofhouse.io/podcast.